Hey guitar champion, what's going on? Hombach here, back from my practice cave. Welcome to today's video where we are going to take a deep look into the instrumental madness called Miles of Machine by Jeff Loomis. Here we go. Alright, the note for note complete lesson for Miles of Machines by Jeff Loomis. Here we go. Well, this is going to be a really intense lesson, really long lesson, but it's so worth it to check out because we have a lot of really interesting stuff in this song, especially of course the famous intro arpeggios. But there are a lot of cool Loomis tricks here, a lot of licks where you can see his style and his influences. Pretty sick songwriting here, of course. So it's definitely worth check out the complete Miles of Machine song. Before we start, his guitar in the original recording is tuned down half step, but I'm, for demonstration purpose, use a normal standard tuned guitar. And before we start with the lesson, let's go to the shoutout section, shall we? This section where I pick two comments of the day and I'm going to respond to them, to answer to them. So let's go, let's pick the first comment, shall we? Okay, the first comment is from Man of Culture. It's from a video from a lesson of Stab Wound by Arpeggios, and he is saying, quarantine is not ending anytime soon, so I was like, I should really learn a hard song, and yes, you will have a really great time, because that, let me tell you one, playing Arpeggios song is really not easy, but it's worth to check out. I really love this challenge. It's a really awesome opportunity to improve your rhythm skills, your rhythm guitar skills, and of course some lead skills. Some arpeggios are in there which are really nice and really great ideas. I love the record Epitaph by Arpeggios. Such a classic record. Alright, let's check out comment number 2. And this one is from my full guitar lesson of Altitudes by Jason Becker, and it's from Nameless One. He said, yes brother, thank you so much for this lesson. More Becker please. There will be coming some more Becker soon, I guarantee you that. Us Becker fans appreciate it so much. Like one commenter said, you are doing God's work. Your playing is incredible and the lessons are explained so well. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this really cool and kind comment. I really appreciate it, and I'm really happy to see all of the responses from you guys, and I'm really thankful for this. Yes, I'm really going to do some Becker stuff in the future because I love the playing of Jason Becker. It's really, really interesting, so stay tuned for that. Hey, so much for my shoutout section. I do this section to say thank you to my community and to you guys. And now, without further ado, let's start with the lesson. If you want the free tabs for today's video for the full song Miles of Machine, how I covered it and played it, then check the description box. There's a download link where you can download the tabs for free. So let's start with Miles of Machine and this incredible arpeggio intro section. Here we go. Okay, the intro arpeggio section. Slow goes like this. Alright, and the chord progression that we are outlining is E minor, going to B major, going to E7, going to A minor, going to E flat diminished, or well, technically you could say it's in B7 with the flat 9, but superimposing through the E flat diminished. Or it could also be an F sharp diminished, or an A diminished. You get the point. The important thing is that it goes to the E major, going to E diminished, resolving into B major. And the E diminished is superimposing an F sharp 7 flat 9. Alright, so the first section, the E minor section, in slow goes like this. And here we are outlining a triplet kind of feeling sequence for the E minor arpeggio, starting on the E. I'm playing E, G and B over 3 strings, the low E string, the A string and the D string. In frets we have 12, 10 and 6, 9. With our pinky, middle and index finger. Okay, and then we are playing this kind of sequence, and now we are continuing this sequence through the complete arpeggio. Sorry. And here we are starting with a higher note from the arpeggio. In this case, in the first case, it's the E, going to the fifths, the B and the minor third. Then starting on the minor third, the G, so an octave higher than our last note. Playing G, E and B, playing it with our pinky again on the 12th fret on the G string. Pulling to the 9th fret on the G string, and with our roll technique we can play the B on the D string. Then we are jumping to the B string, playing B, G and the E with our middle finger, 12, 8, 9. Going to the E string, playing 12, 7, kind of a bit of stretch here, 8, E, B, G, and to the G here, 15, 12, 12, 12, 12 again with our roll technique. Now beware of the timing. What can happen really quickly when we are going to play this one fast is this kind of effect. So always be aware that you're only playing There are some jumps in here which are kind of difficult. For example, this one, because we have to move our index a lot here. So I highly recommend to train or to focus on those kind of little chunks a little bit more than on the complete arpeggio. And now beside that, this is a pretty sick idea. So when you know your harmony and you know your arpeggios and you know, right, we have to change the minor third to a major third if you want to get a major chord and stuff like this, you can play around with this kind of sequence and idea and transform it into different chords, which is pretty awesome. Alright, so but let's continue with the B, with the B7. And we are outlining just where we are playing first, just a simple B major sweep arpeggio. This position, the position. Here we have 14, 11, 12, 11, 13, 14, 9. Going up again. My right hand is picking, pulling, sweep, 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 pulling, hammering, sweep, 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 and resolve. Then we are playing again the sequence which are known for the E minor. Going to the next inversion, so first we're starting here. 14, 11, 12. Going to the next inversion where we have 19, 14, 16 on the B string. Now we are going to E dominant, and here we are outlining first G sharp diminished arpeggio. Oh, it's kind of diminished. We have the E in there, so it's more like the E7 arpeggio. Yeah, it's more an E7, sorry. But here we have 13th fret G string, hammering to the 16th fret G string, sweeping through the 15th fret on the B string to the 12th fret on the E string, the root. So we have major third, 5th, 7, root. And not the G sharp, not yet. But first we have this kind of idea. We're going back to the 7th and pulling to the 12th fret on the B string. So we have to be careful when we're sweeping through the E string that our pick is not really that low here in this kind of area, but jumps right back to the B string. So I highly recommend everybody to practice this kind of idea. Just the jump back from the E string to the B string. And then we have the same pull off one note on the B string idea, which we have also on the E minor and the B major. First starting now on the G sharp, 16, 12, 15, going to the next inversion, 19, 16, 17, and to the next inversion, 22, 19, 21. And now we have a chromatical approach to the major third of the A major. Oh, it's A major, not A minor. Sorry about that, I've told you that wrong in the beginning when I was telling about the chord progression. We're going to the major third, and we're going to the major third via this kind of jazzy chromatical approach. And here we have 18, 19, 20, 21, the major third of A major. And then we're playing this A major sweep arpeggio. Just basically the E major shape, but here on A. So go check out your Cage systems right now. But in frets, to make it a little bit easier for you, we have 21 pulling to 17, 17, 18, 19, 19, 21, hammer, pulling, hammering, 19, 19, 18, 17. But only we are going to the 17th fret on the B string. We are not going to the E string, because then we have this idea. Sorry. Which is kind of a little bit, yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't like this. I don't like to stop in the middle of a sweep arpeggio to go in the different direction. It's not that easy, I would say. And it's not that common for us guitar players to play something like it. But it's something that will expand our vocabulary and our precision in our sweeping hands. So this is super awesome to learn. Weird, but awesome. Alright. And I would jump from the G string to the B string via string hopping, pick hopping, and then sweeping up. B string, G string, D string. You could play it like this, where you're going to the G string, sweeping to the B string, and then going G, D. But for me it's a little bit easier to do the string hopping. Then we're playing this idea. We know this sequence. We already know this sequence from our last arpeggios, but this time it's on the G and on the B string. Starting on the B string, 22nd, sorry, 17, 18. And after that we're going to the first diminished arpeggio here, and the diminished arpeggio slow goes like this. And here the cool thing about diminished sweep arpeggio, or diminished arpeggios in general, is we have a symmetrical system, so our finger shape stays the same. And here we have this stretch from 2 minor thirds, one on the E string where we have 14, 17, and what is this? 20, 19, 20, 20. And then the same frets on the G string. Now, but the sequence is the thing which makes this one pretty cool. And the sequence goes like this. We're first starting descending, going back ascending, doing this little switch between 14, 17, 14, then going back to the G string, but only playing 21, 17, 21. Oh, wait a second, it's not 21, it's 20. Sorry, 20. Yes, 17 plus 3 plus the minor third is 20. Basic elementary school knowledge, Justin. Pretty good. Then we're going this idea, where we have 14, 20, 17, 14. This is our diminished arpeggio. Going to the E major, and here we are not doing any sweeps, we're outlining it in the same way, but there's one difference. We are not playing the last 3 notes on the E string, we are playing them on the G string. But the system, the sequence stays the same. The only difference here is now we have a major chord again and not a diminished chord anymore. So the fingering doesn't stay the same. And here we have this really tastefully stretch from the 12th fret to the 16th fret to the 19th fret. And on the G string we have 13, 16, 19. And once played it for you, and I will play it again for you slow. And first. And then we have another diminished arpeggio, and it's the same sequence like from here, this one, the E flat diminished arpeggio, but this time on E. You might now ask, why do I say to this one E flat? Well, because I think it resolves into E major, so it makes more sense to see this one as E flat over, oh sorry, the fret rep, E flat over B for the B9. Ooh, a little bit out of tune here, to resolve into the E. But here we are not starting on the E flat, we are starting on the F sharp, or well, literally we are starting here on the 20th fret, the C. But you can overall think this one as an E flat diminished arpeggio. Okay. And then the same for E. Let me play those diminished major arpeggio sequence for you again. And then we have B major. We're first playing a typical A-shape sweep arpeggio. So we have 19, 14, 16, 16, 16, 18, 14, 18, 16, 16, 16. Don't forget the roll technique here. And then we are playing this kind of triplet 3-note idea. 19, 14 pulling, 16, 17, 14 pulling to outline the B7. And resolving into the G sharp. Alright, and this was the arpeggio section, the intro section of Miles of Machine. So let's continue with the main melody. Okay, the main melody is pretty easy. Well, it's not that hard. I think for the first part it's really good to know, or really important, that you're playing this on one note, to have those slides in between. And then going to the D string. Doing a little bit of pinch harmonics, banding on the G string. And that's just basically the main melody, or the first, the A melody, the A theme. Okay, you can find out the tabs in the tabs. And now let's go to the next shreddy section, which goes like this in slow. Okay, and here we have this really quick position shift in the beginning. Well, first of all, we are in the scale of C sharp minor, E major. After this position shift from 11, 14, 15, 11, 13, 14, 13, 14, 16, we are ascending with the scale, and then we'll do playing this 4-note sequence. And you would see this sequence a lot in this song because Jeff is loving this sequence. So, and then we're ascending through the scale like this. Starting on the D sharp. For 13, 14, 16, 17, 14, 16. And 14, 16, 17 on the B string. Going back to the G sharp, ascending, and doing the position shift from 14, 16, 17 to 16, 17, 19. and bending from the 19th fret to the 21st fret, the G sharp. Doing really cool, really nice and relaxed vibrato on this note. Playing this little melody here from the E string, 16, 17, 16 as a pull-off, as I'm on a pull-off. Playing again 19 on the B string, going back to 16 on the E string, and bending to the G sharp again. So and now we're going to the next big arpeggio sweep idea. Let's check this one out. So and here we're outlining in D major arpeggio, and we're outlining it through the 7th string, or until the 7th string. It's a 7th string sweep arpeggio, which is pretty cool. And we're starting with this basic D arpeggio from the C shape. But now, instead of going up again from the A string, we're going to the E string, to the B string, and pulling here. And here on the E and on the B string we have 14, 15, and 10. And then we're playing it ascending again up until the A string where we have the point of return. And after that we're playing it ascending again to the high E string. So in slogan we have down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. When we have reached the E string, we have this kind of sequence. Sorry. We're playing from the 5th, the A on the 17th fret on the E string, the arpeggio, through a pull-off on the B string, going to the high 6th, the high 6th, the raised 6th, major 6th, back to the 5th, sharp 5th or sharp 11, and back to the 5th. And then we're repeating the arpeggio. And after that we are playing again some diminished arpeggios, and here we are outlining another E flat diminished arpeggio, and the sequence here goes like this. Yeah, resolving to the E. So we are shifting it through the different inversion, but again the cool thing about diminished arpeggios, it's symmetrical, so we don't need to change our fingering. This is our first section. Again, beware of this kind of idea where we're going from 11 to 14 back to 11 instead of going again high on the 17th fret. Then we're playing this kind of 4-note idea, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but with the diminished arpeggios. Sorry. Sliding to the next inversion, playing this one descending, and sliding to the next inversion, playing this one ascending. Sorry. And resolving into the E. Going to the next melody section, the B section of this song. Alright, here we go. Hey guitar champions, it's Hombach here, out of the off. You will maybe realize that my microphone is away in the next scenes, in the next few minutes. This is because I dropped it on the floor and didn't realize to pick it up again. So sometimes you will hear my foot tapping on the floor and the sound quality is okay, but it's not as good as in the previous minutes. So if you are wondering why the sound quality is so bad now, that's because I've dropped my microphone. I keep the moment where I realized it in this video as a funny outtake, and the last minutes are again with a better audio quality. So let's continue with the lesson. I hope you have a lot of fun so far. Cheers and see you there. Alright, and the B section goes like this. pretty easy melody so far. It's nothing special, nothing hard on it. Pretty beautiful about the melody, but it's not that hard. Okay, but now comes a really cool sweep arpeggio idea. Alright, and here we're starting with a C sharp minor sweep arpeggio. First a 3-string sweep arpeggio. In frets we have 18, 17, 16, 21, tapping 24th, and now playing the sweep arpeggio to the A string, through the A string, till the A string. Again. And here we are sweeping from the B string 17, G string 18, D string 18. We will have the roll technique, and then with our pinky on this 90th fret, pulling, hammering and playing it, sweeping it back up again. Then we're doing an inversion shift and going to this inversion. It's pretty familiar to our D major arpeggio, but here again we have C sharp minor and of course minor, so we have in frets 16, 12, 14, 13, 14, 16, 11, and then sweeping back again. So in total we have this. Sorry, we are not going back to the 19th, the 21st fret in the first arpeggio. We are just going from index finger to pinky, and going to the next inversion straight. Now we have a little bit of scale run here. We're first starting on the 12th fret on the E string, playing 12, 14, 16, 14, 12, position shift, 11, 12, 14, 12, 11. Playing 14, 12, 10 on the B string, position shift playing 9, 10, 12, and descending again, and sliding from a higher note to the 11th fret of the G string, and playing the 9th fret on the G string. And going to the next idea. So, but in total we have going to this idea now. Alright, it's late in the evening, sorry about some blubber which I'm going to say here when I'm trying to record. Well, I think it will be a 1-hour lesson. Well, let's see. Okay, so and now the next scale idea goes like this. So we're starting on the 9th fret of the G string and playing this melody here. 9, 8, 9 as a pull off to 8, 11, 9, 11. And then we're playing this descending scale idea. 4-note phrase. 8, 11, 9, 7. Then we're going back up to the 9th fret, back down to 7, and again we're playing this kind of scale idea in thirds. Up to the 11th fret on the E string, where we're doing a little bit of triller with our ring finger and our pinky. I'm pulling back to the 12th fret, the 12th fret and the 9th fret, playing now 12 on the B string, going back to 9 E string and bending up to 14th fret. So, in total we have And then comes another D major sweep arpeggio section, but we have covered this one yet. So we are continuing with the next section, which is a little bit more Yngwie influenced. Let's check out the Yngwie section. So let me first get off my groove gear, because for the Yngwie section we need the low, no, the high, the not fretted E string, open was the word that I was searching for, looking for. Alright, we're starting after the D major and diminished arpeggio. We're again resolving to the high E, 24th fret, playing the low E, or the open E, and then we're playing this line. And this is a really typical harmonic minor idea in the style of Yngwie. And the classical Yngwie thing here is that we are playing it in octaves. First we are starting on the 13th fret. I'm playing the A minor scale descending, 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, going to 9th fret on the B string. Then we're playing it ascending the scale in 3 note per string, so 9, 10, 12. Playing it descending with pull-offs. Now we're going in the same shape, the same idea, the same notes, but 1 octave below. Playing it 1 descending and then ascending again, so we have playing it again, as I've said, descending, ascending before we're going to the 6th fret here on the D string. And then playing it up until the 5th fret of the low B string, the E. I forgot to tell you one note, we're not starting straight with the descending line here on the high E string, we're first playing this 12th fret as a starting point, as a little triller to start this kind of racing Yngwie monster. Yeah, some Yngwie magic here, I love it. Alright, and now we are going to do a little bit of picking again, playing this idea. And here we are again in the A minor scale, starting on the E, the 5th fret on the 7th string. Playing this Paul Gilbert kind of line, this 4 note line. 6 note line, sorry. Ascending through the A minor scale. Then we're doing the position shift to start in the octaves. But now we're not playing the Paul Gilbert kind of lick again, he's starting in the A like we've done the E string. We are playing straight to the next string, doing a position shift, going to the next string, playing this one ascending, descending, playing descending the scale and resolving into the 13th fret on the G string with G sharp. And this one is the complete Yngwie section. Some of it live, Jeff is a little bit improvising here and there, doing some thrills a little bit more, or playing it again ascending and a little bit more descending, like I've did in one particular fret or bar or section here. I played something like, I don't know, let me try to remember this, what I played a few seconds ago. Like something like that, I've doubled one note. The main thing here, the important thing here is to get this kind of Yngwie vibe, to play this kind of idea in octaves. Yeah, I played something like this. Alright, and now we're going to the next pretty cool harmonic neoclassical kind of melody section. Here we go. And the section goes like this. Okay, let's go step by step through this section. First, we have this pretty cool melody. We're playing 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12 on the E string. Doing a little driller between our middle finger and our pinky. As a support, I keep my index on the fret on the fretboard with a little bit of pressure there. Going to the 9th fret, resolving into the 8th fret. Sorry. Playing 8, 10, 12. A little thriller between 8 and 12 fret, 8 and 10 fret. And then we're playing 12 B string, 10 B string, and bending from the 11th fret to the 12th fret on the G string. Playing this melody. Playing to this melodic minor kind of idea when we're in E melodic minor. And then we're playing those diminished sweep arpeggios with a little bit of tapping in there. Sorry. And here again, diminished arpeggios, and like I'm always saying, they are symmetrical, which means we can keep our finger shape here. Now for the sweeping pattern, for the right hand, I have hammer on, sweep, sweep, hammer on, the tapping, pull off, sweep, sweep. So we have the sweep picking first ascending from the B to the E string and descending from the B to the G string. Then we're resolving into the 12th fret, the E. Playing again this pretty cool melody, doing the hammer on pull off between 15 and 17. Playing 15, 14, 15, and then we're going to the high E string. Oh no, we're going straight to the high string, we're not going back to the 15th fret on the E string. Sorry about that. And for your information, I teach this here in this lesson just by memory, so sometimes it can happen that I'm saying a little bit of bullshit and then I have to correct it later on, but going straight to the 24th fret. And now we're going to some shreddy ideas, and here's the thing that Jeff, we are repeating this kind of idea, I think 2 times or 3 times later on, and Jeff is always kind of improvising this kind of shred idea. Like in my last video from Born from Nevermore, where I've teach this, and this also the Jason Becker videos, I think it's totally fine to improvise there as well, but to know some key points. And here the key points are that we have a little position shift here. We are in the B Phrygian scale or E minor scale, starting on the 22nd fret. And having this little short position shift here, not playing too much, around the 24th to the 22nd and the 20th fret. Just going a little bit short up and then back down again. And the other key point is to resolve into the E, with a little bit of bending and wide vibrato. Alright, and after that we are playing again the Arpeggio section, the intro section. And after the intro section we are playing what? Let me try to remember this. Okay. Okay, now we have a pretty cool melody idea again, or some pretty vibey kind of section again, and I think this had a lot of Satriani kind of vibe in it. And we're starting with the 12th fret, the E, going to the low E string, and now normally Jeff is playing this harmonic here, and is doing with the trem bar, is playing it up to that point here. But maybe you've seen it in my cover, I don't use the trem bar pretty often, and I don't have one for this guitar, so I tried to come in with an idea to play this kind of effect without the trem bar, and I'm going to play this. I'm sliding from nowhere to the 22nd fret on the E string and then bending to the 24th fret. And in this section we are starting with a bending from the 12th to the 13th fret, and then playing this kind of swirly idea, hammering and pulling from the B string to the E minor scale, 10, 12, sure, 8, 10, 7, 8, 5, 7, going to the major 7 here. And then we have this kind of Satriani vibe-ish legato idea. And here again Jeff is a little bit of improvising, but the finger shape here is pretty important, and here we're starting with this kind of E harmonic minor shape, 4, 5, 7 on the B string and then 3, 5, 7 on the E string, playing a little bit around that one. And then we're keeping this finger shape, 4, 5, 7. We are not outlining correctly the E harmonic minor scale, because when we want to play correctly the E harmonic minor scale, we need to have the 6th fret on the D string and the 3rd fret. But he's keeping this kind of finger shape and resolving it to the E on the A string. So now we are playing pretty cool melody again, where we're bending from the 10th fret on the E string to the 12th fret on the E string. I'm playing this E major melody, where we have the B on the B string, 12th fret, 12th fret on the E string, 14, and bending to the major third, the G sharp. And then we're outlining E minor by bending the same note from the 14th fret, but not to the G sharp, the 16th fret, but only a half step from the 14th fret to the 15th fret. Going back to the E and now playing the C. Now we're going with our pinky to the E on the E string, going to the C on the E string, doing the hammer of pull, and sliding to the B, the 7th fret. I'm playing 10, 8, 10 on the B string and bending to the 12th fret. And going to the riff section. Finally riff! Yeah! And I love this riff, it's pretty awesome. So let's check out the riff. So the riff goes like this. So, and here we are on the kind of C sharp Phrygian dominant scale, or a little bit of. This is a typical Jeff Loomis riff, I would say. This could also be a really typical Nevermore riff. And he's playing it like this. So we have this hammer on from the B string to the 2nd fret on the B string, playing the octave, and then we're playing around that idea, playing 3 times the octave, and then we're playing the major 7, 2 times, going to the flat 9, and then the major 7 again. Sorry. And now for the right hand, after this little hammer on here on the low B string and the 2nd fret, I play down, down, up. It's pretty similar to the one Nevermore riff from my last video. Ah! Shit! Ich hoffe, das ist dennoch okay. No! Voll vergessen! Aber hab ich dich angelassen? Beim End ist es gar nicht mal so schlimm. Ich habe dich zumindest angelassen. Okay, das muss ich ganz schnell. Okay, and after this riff we're going to the first big solo section here, which is pretty typical in the style of Jeff Loomis, and it goes like this. Okay, we're starting with a lot of tremolo picking on the 19th fret of the E string. And then we're playing down the E minor or E harmonic minor scale like this. Some pretty cool quintuplet 5-note groupings here. And then we are playing this kind of section, going to the second part of the solo. Now, here's the thing that he's playing with a lot of wah-wah, and it was not so easy to find out how he's playing some licks in between that, because he's also improvising it live. So I came across this kind of idea. First of all, okay, the section that you hear the most, or you hear the clearest, is this one. Through the 5th and the 4th fret on the B and the G string. And then I'm playing something like this. Well, really particular, Justin, really good. But here again, this finger shape that we are familiar with from this kind of Satriani legato section that we have here, when you remember this one. It's more important to have this ascending and really quickly descending kind of sound and fit into this bar, into the time section here. So we have so the main idea I often play is something like this one here. Sorry. This one here. Yeah, this is the white one. Then we're repeating it. Then we're going up an octave. And here's the one thing that he's always doing. He's always tapping into the 24th fret of the E string. And then we're going back again down. And resolving into the octave section. And the octave section goes like this. Oh, I should tune my guitar. Sorry about the tuned guitar. Sorry? Okay, stop noodling. Let me just real quick tune my guitar. Okay, the octave section is actually pretty easy. It's not that hard. You can check this one in the tabs. But now we're going to the next really interesting section. And this is a solo section where, interestingly, Jeff isn't playing this one live. He's still playing some octaves. He's playing this. Kind of idea, but I don't think that this solo on the record is a guest solo. I couldn't find any. I did some research and couldn't find that any evidence that this is a guest solo. And there's one live video on YouTube where he's playing also that solo, but otherwise, or was it the cover from Gus Drax, which is an awesome cover. Check out Gus Drax. But in the most videos he isn't playing this solo live. But it goes something like this. It's again a lot of improvised, and I have figured out the key points which are important to get this kind of sound here. This is pretty influenced by kind of Marty Friedman or the players like Marty Friedman. It sounds pretty familiar to some Friedmanish kind of sounds. And we are starting with playing the E, playing E, F, G, going to G sharp, playing the scale descending to B, and then we are bending from the G sharp to the A, which is really typical Marty Friedman kind of soundish. And then we have this kind of legato run, where we have the tap note in between, and first we're tapping to the 18th fret, 17th fret, and 15th fret. So we have and then we're playing a little bit more of legato in the E harmonic, E Phrygian dominant scale kind of. We're having a lot of, or a little bit of this bending in between the legato, but the main thing that is happening here as well is that we are moving from this kind of position to the E major, next E major inversion, and bending from the 19th fret to the the 19th fret to the 21st fret, to the major third. So again we have some other key elements here for the legato playing is of course this kind of idea, going to the bending, going to the E major, the next E major, and resolving to the bending. Sorry? Yes, this kind of idea. Well, as I've said, he's never playing this one live, so it's not that easy to figure out what he's doing there in the live, in the legato section, but those are the key elements. And as I've said, I think it's more important in those kind of sections where he's obviously improvising and playing it freely to know the key sections to get this kind of sound. Alright, and after that we are going to play the A section again, but remember in the A section at the end we have this kind of run. We're now expanding this kind of run and playing, let me play the complete repetition of the A section again. Alright, and here first we have, obviously normally the A section, then we are playing the C sharp minor big 6-string sweep arpeggio, resolving into the 60th fret on the E string. We were aware of the sweep arpeggio, the roll technique between the index and the ring finger. Roll, roll. Playing this kind of legato idea. So again we have 16, playing this idea 16, 12, 14, 16, 14, 12, going to 14, playing the same sequence just in position shift, and then playing this one through the scale. Playing those kind of bluesy bends here, resolving to the minor third, and then playing this kind of idea. Where we're not playing, when you remember it from the first time where we were playing the A section, we have this kind of 4-note phrase in there, this sequence. We don't have this one anymore. We have this more kind of ascending, descending sequence here. Ascending, descending, ascending, descending, ascending, descending, and now we are also going to the E string and not staying on the B string. So we have 14, 16, 17 on the E string, and then the position shift where we have 16, 17, 19 on the E string, and from the 19th fret we're bending high up to the 21st fret. Yes! And after that we're again playing D major sweep section here. Then we're doing a little bit of kind of noisy, well, let's say noisier, but this idea here, where he's doing the slide, the low string, and the tap slide. And then we're playing again this section. And after that, after that we have a little bit of bending action here where I can really unleash the fury and the power of our bending technique. We're first bending from the 22nd fret to the 24th fret on the B string, and then 22nd fret to the 24th fret on the E string, playing again this idea where we are in the E minor scale up here in this kind of section where he's improvising a little bit. You remember the keynotes here. And if I'm not lying, this should be the end of the song. Let me just go through it really quickly. So we have the sweep section. And we have a little run in that noisy section where we have the tap slide, and here we are pulling again Yngwie vibe. This kind of idea, where we are pulling 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 12, 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, 10, 9, 7. So we have then we have this melody. Sorry. Depending on the E string. Yes, and then again this kind of E minor in the 19th fret section shredding idea, resolving into the E here on the G string, 21st fret, bending it high, resolving it, and ending the song. Yes! Whew, this was the complete lesson of Miles of Machines by Jeff Loomis. I hope you like this little lesson. If you like the lesson, if you want to have more lessons, which are coming pretty soon from me, because now I have a little bit more time to do more lessons, then please support me by clicking subscribe, clicking the notification bell, hit the like button, and of course share this if you want to share with people, and leave a comment if you want to get shout out in the comment section. Alright, now we have 4 AM in the morning. Now it's time to go back into the practice cave and practice more. No, now it's time to get a little bit of sleep, and tomorrow I will be back in my practice cave and preparing some next videos for you guys. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope I'm going to see you in my next video. Cheers so far, and stay progress. Bye.